Hi everyone, this is Chief Meteorologist Justin Kiefer from the 13th First Alert Storm Center. I'll give you an update on Gordon, a new advisory, and new indications that Gordon is getting a little bit better organized. Winds now at 60, pressure is dropping to 1,003 millibars, moving to the west-northwest at 17. This track remains in place from earlier. A new track's coming up at 10 o'clock. The storm looks to be heading toward coastal Alabama or Mississippi, perhaps as a hurricane by this time tomorrow evening. But we're going to see some fringe effects out of this. In fact, there are hurricane warnings up right now from coastal Mississippi right to the Florida-Alabama line. Then tropical storm warnings in effect for the coastal areas west of Destin and coastal waters south of the Florida coastline, the northwest Florida coastline. The radar signature not great, but the low pressure area is getting stronger and lowering, and the winds are picking up. So we have to watch as it pulls away from the Florida Peninsula. There's going to be room for further intensification and organization. Again, winds are at 60 right now. Our futurecast is depicting that we'll see a quiet night, and then bands of rain begin to impact on coastal Gulf and Franklin County as early as tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Those rain bands will continue to sweep over the Panhandle as the low pressure center heads over to the west of Mobile by tomorrow night, early Wednesday morning. And we're still in some banding rain as we go through the day on Wednesday. Now, expected rainfall is going to be high. We'll have rainfall totals, especially near the coastline, that could be as high as 3 to maybe 5 inches. And winds are going to be gusty, at times near the coast between 30 and 35 miles per hour. And they could see tropical storm winds right along and just off the northwest Florida coast. That's what we're going to have during the day tomorrow. There's also going to be an isolated tornado threat, so I want you to keep that in mind. In fact, here are the expected storm impacts. For wind, likely to see winds 25 to 40, especially near the coastline. Now, this could be a little bit higher if the storm strengthens more overnight and during the day tomorrow. Rain will be likely to pick up 5 to 7 inches with localized heavier amounts. And again, especially in that core along the coast from Apalachicola all the way over to Destin. Now, we'll have a storm surge possible of 2 to 4 feet, western Panhandle most likely, but there could be a higher elevated storm surge a little bit further east. The low threat for tornadoes is not zero. Watch out for isolated tornadoes, especially in the heating of the day on your Tuesday. So the impacts, some street flooding, sporadic power outages with these winds and tree limbs and all the rain we've seen. There could be some quick rises on the area creeks and rivers. As well, beach erosion and possible storm surge flooding. So it's a low-end risk for strong weather, but it's not zero. So pay particular attention to changing and threatening weather conditions, especially during the day tomorrow. Another update coming up at 10 o'clock.